Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. As we head into the spring football season, our staff at BamaInsider.com will preview each position, and we'll start with the quarterbacks. Now, to read the complete preview of the quarterbacks, head on over to BamaInsider.com. And if you're not a subscriber, we have a 30-day free trial. The promo code is ROLLTIDE. Our video previews will provide you with an in-depth look at the quarterbacks as we head into the spring season, and they're going to follow a format what we call a 3-2-1 style, where I'll ask 3 questions, provide 2 things that I've learned, and make 1 prediction to close out. To open the show up, here are 3 questions. Alabama returns, obviously, the most dynamic quarterback in college football, and Tua Tagovailoa. And my question is, could Tua be even better during the 2019 season? As a sophomore, Tua last year threw for 3,966 yards with 43 touchdowns and just 6 interceptions. His final grade out by Pro Football Focus was an incredible 90.8. When we go inside the numbers, Tua Tagovailoa's passing grade for balls thrown over 20 yards downfield was ridiculous. His grade to the outside left was a 94.8. Between the numbers, he had a grade of 92.5, and the outside right, he had a grade of 96.7. Through 15 games, his completion percentage was 69%, and he had a quarterback rating of 199.5. So to get back to the question, could Tua be even better this coming season with Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Waddle all returning? You have to think the simple answer is yes. Now, my next question, is Tua Tagovailoa injury prone? Last season, Tua suffered quite a bit of minor injuries, and I have to ask, is he suspect to injuries? Last season, Tagovailoa suffered an injury to his finger before the season even started. That was way back in the springtime. And that led to him missing the spring game. We all missed Jalen versus Tua. And then fast forward to the season, Tagovailoa suffered a sprained knee against Missouri. Then he had a quad injury against Mississippi State. Then against Georgia in the SEC championship game, he hurt both his left and his right ankle. He actually had to have surgery to repair a high ankle sprain right before the Orange Bowl. I think it's obvious that NFL coaches, NFL scouts are going to be watching Tua Tagovailoa this year, not only because of his ability on the field, but I think in the back of their minds, they want to know, is this young man prone to injuries? I think that's a big question going forward. My third question is Mack Jones a serviceable quarterback for this season? Maybe he's even better than serviceable. Maybe Mack Jones is a quarterback that everybody's been sleeping on. With Jalen Hurts exiting to Oklahoma, Mack Jones seems the most likely to be the backup quarterback. Jones is now a redshirt sophomore, and last season as a redshirt freshman, he was 5 of 13 for 123 yards with just 1 touchdown. To be honest, looking at Jones year over year, he's made a lot of progress. He's a guy that I think people forget about, and I think a lot of people forget this most importantly. He was the 8-day MVP nearly a year ago. Don't sleep on Mack Jones. 2 things I've learned going in. Alabama has 2 young guns coming in to the quarterback room, Paul Tyson and Tua Tagovailoa. The Crimson Tide are loaded. You got a junior in Tua, then you got your redshirt sophomore Mack Jones, and then you got Tyson and Tagovailoa, right? Paul being the great-grandson of Bear Bryant, Tua being the younger brother of Tua. Paul Tyson is your pocket-style quarterback. He's a big kid, 6'4", 220 pounds. Talia is your dual-threat quarterback. Remember, those two played each other twice last year as Thompson and Hewitt Trustville played in the playoffs. And I'm kind of curious to see if the quarterback room is big enough for those two moving forward. I guess that's something for another time. Now, the next thing I've learned going into the season is that Steve Sarkisian will be working with the quarterbacks. Sarkisian will be the offensive coordinator along with working with the quarterbacks. Alabama has had 3 different quarterback coaches and 3 different offensive coordinators within the last 3 seasons. It's interesting to think about. That hasn't slowed down Alabama, and it certainly hasn't impacted Tua. I mean, you look what he did year over year from working with Brian Daboll and then working with Mike Locksley. He made some big strides. Now, this year, I see the same thing with Steve Sarkisian. Sarkisian has a lot of experience working with quarterbacks. He was the quarterback coach at USC in the early 2000s, also coached the quarterbacks for the Raiders, and most recently, he was working with the Atlanta Falcons as the offensive coordinator in 2019. Now, drum roll, here's my prediction for the 2019 season when we talk about the quarterbacks, and it's a big one. I think Tua Tagovailoa will win the 2019 Heisman Trophy. Now, going into the 2019 season, way out in March of 2019, Westgate Superbook already has Tua Tagovailoa as a favorite to win the Heisman Trophy with odds of 5-2. Other favorites on the board include Clemson's Trevor Lawrence, who has odds of 3-1, and former Alabama quarterback now playing at Oklahoma, Jalen Hurts, who has odds of 6-1. Now, remember, the last two Heismans have come out of Oklahoma. It's going to be interesting to see if at the end of the season, Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts are sitting at that podium in New York, battling for the Heisman Trophy. Thank you for watching our video. Be sure and like, subscribe, and for more coverage of the Alabama Crimson Tide, head on over to BamaInsider.com. Remember, the promo code for a premium account is Roll Tide. I'll talk soon. Signing off from Tuscaloosa, Kyle Henderson. We'll catch you next time.